So you've got to be careful with that. Greg, if you want to choose motifs for each one, at least make it a motif that relates to the problem, the struggle, and the solution and the resolution. Look, there's a lot of ways, and I by no means feel restricted by what I'm saying. But for the purpose of showing you how to put all the pieces together, I've just used a kind of the structure that I feel like is easiest and most adaptable. The way I do it as well is I choose I develop that structure. It looks so simple, right? Problem, struggle, resolution. But that's actually that's after a long time and a long time looking at the types of questions that come up, and then you get this nice simple structure that I figure works for every single type of question. So that's why I use that, only because it's the most adaptable. But it doesn't mean there's not an equally adaptable structure. No, yeah. So yeah, it's a good thing you raise that. You don't no backup techniques, right? We're only using evidence that is related to form and key concepts, so that if you get a question that's specifically on paradoxes, as long as there's something in there that you can relate to a paradox, it's not worth having backup evidence. It's worth having thought about how you could adapt your explanation of the techniques. So it's actually the practicing to those questions and rewording how you explain, not choosing different evidence. So that's how I do it, because I feel like otherwise that's a really tough way to prepare. I would just want to have a core draft and then have lots of practice with new types of questions to look at how to actually make tweaks. And you've got to interpret the words of the question as broadly as possible so that you can make them work for your essay. Yeah, unfortunately, that you guys have an enormous cohort. So that does make it inherently difficult, especially when there's not that uniform teaching approach. So best advice there is to use things that every teacher would agree is important to the text. And what have I tried to emphasize today that's important to the text? Well, what type of evidence?
Form, structure.
Form. Like, how could it, there's no teacher out there would be like, oh, the satirical nature, I don't like you talking about that. It's like, you have to appreciate that. So they might not like you obsessing on particular micro techniques of similes and whatnot. But that's why I say the safest way to do it, which would probably please most teachers, is constantly linking to specific contextual elements and specific aspects of form and genre. So we're basically preparing a safe thing. But look, it's not like I come in here guaranteeing that every single teacher at Knox would give a 20 out of 20 to it, right? So it's a matter of just doing the best you can in those circumstances.